Imagine you're walking alone down a quiet street. A stranger smiles at you, but you instinctively become cautious. Just a few steps later, a dog you've never met runs toward you, wagging its tail. Instead of fear, many people immediately smile, kneel down, and reach out to pet it. Isn't that strange? Why would the human brain trust an unfamiliar animal more easily than another human being? It sounds irrational, yet millions of people experience it every single day. This isn't simply because dogs are cute. It's the result of one of the longest and most extraordinary relationships in evolutionary history. A partnership that has shaped both the human mind and the canine mind for tens of thousands of years. Long before cities, farms, or written language existed, humans were hunter-gatherers struggling to survive in a dangerous world. Every day brought uncertainty. Food was never guaranteed, predators lurked nearby, and rival tribes could become deadly enemies. In that world, trusting the wrong human could cost you your life. A stranger might steal your food, attack your family, or compete for limited resources. Because of these risks, the human brain evolved to approach unfamiliar people with caution rather than immediate trust. At the same time, another intelligent species was watching from a distance. They were wolves. Unlike the terrifying image often shown in movies, some wolves were naturally less aggressive and more curious. Instead of attacking human camps, they stayed nearby, feeding on leftover bones and scraps. Humans tolerated their presence because these wolves cleaned waste and sometimes warned them when predators or hostile groups approached. Neither side planned to become friends. Yet over thousands of years, this accidental relationship slowly transformed both species forever. The friendliest wolves survived best around humans. Generation after generation, they became calmer, less fearful, and better at understanding human behavior. Eventually, they were no longer truly wolves. They became the first dogs. This process, called domestication, didn't just change their bodies. It reshaped their psychology. Dogs evolved to pay extraordinary attention to human faces, voices, emotions, and gestures in ways that no other animal naturally does. Today, a dog can often understand a pointing finger without training. Many wild animals cannot. Dogs recognize changes in our voice, notice tiny facial expressions, and even respond differently when we are happy, angry, frightened, or sad. They aren't reading our thoughts. They are reading our behavior with remarkable accuracy. Their brains became specialized for living alongside ours. But something equally fascinating happened to humans. Our brains also adapted to dogs. Over thousands of years, dogs proved themselves as hunting partners, protectors, guards, and companions. They helped track prey, warned sleeping families about danger, and defended children from predators. Again and again, humans experienced the same lesson. A loyal dog could increase your chances of survival. Because of this shared history, the human brain gradually began associating dogs with safety instead of danger. While strangers remained unpredictable, dogs became familiar partners whose behavior was often easier to understand. Evolution rewarded cooperation between the two species. Modern neuroscience reveals something even more remarkable. When humans share affectionate eye contact with their dogs, both brains release oxytocin, the hormone strongly associated with love, bonding, and trust. This is the same chemical involved in the bond between parents and their children. Scientists have found that simply looking into a dog's eyes for several moments can increase oxytocin levels in both the human and the dog, strengthening emotional attachment. Dogs also communicate in ways that feel emotionally honest. Their excitement is difficult to fake. Their fear is visible. Their happiness is obvious. When a dog greets its owner after a long day, it doesn't care about money, appearance, social status, or success. Its response is immediate and genuine. The human brain naturally responds to this consistency by lowering its emotional defenses. Humans, on the other hand, are incredibly complex. We can hide our emotions, tell lies, pretend to be friendly, or manipulate others for personal gain. Throughout history, this unpredictability made caution essential for survival. Even today, your brain constantly evaluates strangers by asking silent questions. Can they be trusted? Are they dangerous? What are their intentions? With dogs, those questions often feel less urgent because their behavior is generally more transparent. Psychologists also believe that dogs provide something many people struggle to find in modern society: unconditional acceptance. A dog doesn't judge your career, your appearance, your mistakes, or your past. Whether you've had the best day of your life or the worst, your dog usually greets you with the same excitement. This reliability creates emotional security, and the human brain naturally becomes attached to sources of predictable comfort. That doesn't mean dogs are perfect or that every dog is automatically safe. Like humans, dogs have unique personalities, past experiences, and behaviors. Fear, poor socialization, illness, or mistreatment can make any animal unpredictable. Responsible trust should always be based on understanding behavior, not blind assumptions. Evolution explains our instincts, but wisdom helps us decide when those instincts are appropriate. Perhaps the most beautiful part of this relationship is that it changed both species. Humans gave dogs food, shelter, and protection. Dogs gave humans loyalty, companionship, security, and emotional connection. Few partnerships in nature have lasted so long or influenced evolution so deeply. Together, humans and dogs built one of the strongest interspecies relationships the world has ever known. So the next time you see someone smiling at a dog they've never met while remaining cautious around unfamiliar people, remember that this reaction isn't simply a modern habit. It is the echo of thousands of generations who survived side by side with loyal companions. Hidden beneath every wagging tail and every trusting glance is a story written across tens of thousands of years. A story in which two very different species learned that survival was easier together than alone. Perhaps that is why the human heart often opens to a dog before it opens to a stranger. Because long before dogs became our pets, they became our partners. And long before they slept beside our beds, they stood beside our ancestors when survival depended on trust.